What you doing? You got Uncle Jordan here? Uncle Jordan. You sweet little thing. Oh, you're so sweet. What is going on, my friends? YouTube family? How the heck is everybody doing? So, we got a little different video today than the norm. I addressed it momentarily in a previous video. We had some pretty good feedback so far about it. So today, dude, we're gonna talk about some things that not a lot of people want to talk about. Mental health. So, hi bud. I guess as an introduction, so this is my boy Jordan. I introduced him in a couple previous videos, the one that Chandler came over the house, yada yada. So before we get any further into this video, I just want to express that the main objective for this video is to push Finding a Lost Voices GoFundMe so we can raise up the funds to get people help, okay? That is what this is all about. A lot of people cannot afford to go get help from therapists or go to whatever they gotta do, and that is what we are trying to do here today. Pushing the GoFundMe, we're gonna try to raise up a significant amount of money so that way other people can help us help you guys.
100%.
All right? And that is the whole point behind Finding a Lost Voice, is to raise money and to be able to help other people pay for therapy when they cannot afford it. You know, it's kind of been really on my mind lately, especially after doing a podcast with MJ a couple weeks ago. He asked me about Brian. He was like, why did you start watching Brian Barczyk? And honestly, the whole reason why I started watching Brian didn't really do a whole lot of Venomous stuff. He did sometimes. But what really got me onto Brian back in the day was his like anxiety, mental health videos that really helped me out a while ago when I was first getting a little history lesson real fast. I was on Ink Masters 2016, 2017, okay? Got put on TV. My whole business blew up. My name blew up as a brand, that whole 9 yards. I wasn't on YouTube yet or any of that stuff. The whole new TV stuff, that was all super new to me, okay? And I wasn't ready for the comments that I would get online about my online presence, because obviously you guys watch a highlight reel of our lives. And yes, on YouTube, things can seem like they're freaking awesome. Like, yeah, dude, everything's figured out. We got, you know, your girl, the house, the baby, the this, the that, you're driving the car, you're doing this, that, and the other thing. But you don't really keep in mind all the other little things that can trigger you when it comes to, you know, being on that level. And not even being on that level, dude, any other level in between. Like,
just being human.
Yeah, just being human. Like, it's not like just the rich and famous, you know, have depression issues and all that other shit and they need to learn how to deal with the public and all that other stuff. Everybody's struggling from all sorts of reasons, whether it's losing a loved one, you lose a job, you lose a kid. Like, there's just so many things that, like, even though as great as your life might seem, you know, at the end of the day, dude, for some reason you just find yourself in the dumps. It never really hit me until, like I said, I was on TV and I started doing YouTube and getting the comments online. Like, people just, like, they attack you online, and it kind of really, you know, when you go to sleep at night, all you do is think about all these negative comments, and it just, like, really gets with your head. And I lived my life totally stress-free, anxiety-free, mental health was on point. And then a few years ago, it really started to take a toll, and I needed help, but I didn't know where to go to, you know what I mean? And it was really freaking hard for me to figure it out on my own, especially when you're down in the dumps. You're not really that motivated to go search for help. You just, you know, things just suck. You know, it's hard to get out of bed, it's hard to go to sleep, it's hard to go to work. There's so many things that can really mess you up. My buddy Jordan over here, who, you know, a little history lesson with this is we grew up together. We knew the same, we went to, you know, same high school. We knew the same people. We were always like kind of in the same circle-ish, but we weren't like really good friends back in the day until what, 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, almost 5 years ago. Yep.
Yeah, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I could get into that. Almost 5 years ago, we're sitting at a bar. I'm waiting for food to come out, and I'm heading home, and I was going through a divorce, and I'm kind of down in the dumps myself. Even though for years and years I've also been involved in mental health and assisting people with finding mental health resources and treatment for either substance abuse or any kind of mental health adversity. And yeah, like Tyler was just saying, man, it doesn't really matter who you are or what you got going on in your life, and you guys get to see the highlight reel, but all of us struggle, and most of the things Tyler was pointing out are very situational things, like losing a loved one or losing a job, things like that. But like some people, they wake up and everything seems perfect from the outside. They've got a great job, a great relationship, all these things, but they just cannot figure out for the life of them why they're so depressed. And that's clinical depression, and that is chemical imbalances and things like that. And people just don't understand that there's nothing wrong with you for having that. There's nothing wrong with you for struggling with depression and anxiety and things like that. But, a lot of people, like Tyler was saying, don't know how to reach out for that help or, find their voice, if you will, and speak up about what they're going through. Or some people don't even have that person in their life that they feel comfortable sharing that stuff with. So aside from that, we're sitting at this bar, and Tyler from across the bar is like, "Hey man, are you a tattoo artist?" And I'm like, "Come on, bro, we grew up together. I'm not a tattoo artist." Just because I got a couple tattoos, whatever.
I meet so many people. I'm terrible with faces.
I'm like, "What's the next comment? Are you going to tell me I look like Jelly Roll too?" But I know you're on Jelly Roll right now. The Jelly Roll's cool.
I love Jelly Roll.
He's so cool. Jelly Roll, if you're watching this, man, we love you, and we would love to do something with you. I know you're on that mental health tip too. So, but aside from that, we got into a conversation, and I was expressing what I was going through, and Tyler opened up to me about some things that he was going through, and that formed like a bond for us. And the funniest part is, like, Tyler's definitely a man of his word, and if he says he's going to do something, he definitely does it. And a couple weeks later, we caught each other at a show, and he came up to me all happy, giddy, and he's just like, "Yo, Valentine's Day is coming up. What are you doing for Valentine's Day?" I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, I remember.
And he asked me out on a date. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing Valentine's? Let's go out together. Let's and I'm like, "Haha, yeah, whatever, sure, man. Like, this ain't happening, right?" Sure enough, a couple days before Valentine's Day, Tyler's like, "So where are we going? What are we doing?" And I'm just like, "Wow, this guy's serious." Yeah. And I'm like, "You know what? Let's fucking do it." I set up a reservation. We went out to dinner.
Yeah.
I think we held on the Atlantic Ave. Uh-huh. We held hands. Hands, yeah. Maybe we kissed. I don't know. But that was really like the start of like this brotherhood, right? We've done so much shit together too. Like, we've gone out on the boat, and I know you've seen some of Tyler's videos where he is struggling and he goes out on the boat. That's like where he finds peace, out on the open water and just being one with nature and animals. Obviously, you guys know about his animals. Like, Tyler finds what he needs when he's struggling with so many different various things that you guys do see, but you don't understand what that's actually doing for Tyler, right? We have this relationship, right? And Tyler has reached out to me a couple times, and I did point him in the direction of therapy.
And I've been in therapy, guys, and there's nothing embarrassing about it. It's just like a lot of people are embarrassed to get help, and they're embarrassed, especially men. Like, women are a little bit better at like expressing themselves emotionally, but men, we hold it in and we keep it to ourselves, and then we just have this like, you're frustrated throughout the day, you have all these little triggers, like, men just hide it inside of them for some reason, man, and they just feel ashamed to get help. And dude, for the longest time, I felt ashamed to get help, and I was like, dude, I don't need to go see a therapist, dude. Like, therapy? It's for people that, like, don't have their shit together, you know what I mean? Like, I was embarrassed. But then, I'm not gonna name the company that I went through, I paid for it myself, and it ended up, it's expensive, which is why Jordan does what he does. Getting therapy is expensive, and not a lot of people can afford it. I was doing it for a few months, but then it got to the point where, dude, not even me, I couldn't really afford it because I'm so busy working on the property, taking care of my kid, taking care of my girl, all that stuff. It adds up, and then Then what happens? Now you can't just go talk to someone, and that sucks, man. That was like, it was the worst. I mean, I could still go back and do it now. I've been reading, I've been doing a lot. There's a lot of things you can do. Get help, get therapy, read a book. Dude, I've been immersing myself in books lately, just trying to pull myself out of this funk. And like, even when Brian got diagnosed with cancer last, March, he's passed now. Rest in peace, Brian. I love you, bro. But, I mean, dude, the thing that really stood out to me and what really made me pull myself out of it and just kind of like, dude, almost had to like pick myself back up was like, dude, Brian just found out he had terminal cancer, and instead of staying in bed all day or not taking care of his family or not taking care of his businesses or not doing this, not doing that, using his mental health as an excuse to be lazy and not do things, Brian did the exact opposite. Which, imagine having something that's terminal and you still have to work every single day and make sure your family is taken care of, dude. And Brian did it. He pulled through. He still worked his ass off until the very freaking end. And that was, for me, just like such an eye-opener. Like, holy crap, dude. Like, so the whole reason for making this video is those videos from Brian really helped me out. And, you know, at the time, I couldn't afford it and yada yada. But watching Brian's videos and knowing that somebody else, especially on Brian's level, felt the way that he did, you know, it's just like an eye-opener to you. It's like, imagine being on the top of the freaking world, but at the end of the day, you're still like, there's just demons and this negativity in your head for some reason that's like so hard to freaking get past, dude, and it sucks. And I know a lot of you, especially from that video the other day, made a little mention in the video, and a lot of people commented on it. They were like, hey man, like, thanks for addressing this, and thanks for like being a voice for the people that don't. And that is what this is all about.
Finding a lost voice.
Finding a lost voice.
So, yeah, I really appreciate that, you know, Brian was that voice for you and that person that motivated you, leading by example, you know, somebody that could have just hung it up and gave up and, you know, didn't carry on his legacy and do the things that he needed to do for his family or just in general in his life. And he very well could have given up and nobody really would have blamed him for it, right? You know,
right, yeah,
but
totally.
You know, I've had a lot of people like that in my life as well, and I had some great examples for me. And you know, coming from the music industry, that's like an industry that like really could bring you to your knees with addiction and you know, all sorts of different problems. Really feel like super lost and alone, especially if you're touring constantly. And that's kind of the life that I came from. And, you know, luckily I had some people leading by example and I found recovery, you know, and then I got sober, and in recovery, I started discovering like I want to be a voice for these people as well. I want to show them that you know, there's a way out of these feelings, these demons and all of this. I was working at a treatment center here where, you know, we had this girl, she was doing her intake and she was under the influence of drugs, and we were an outpatient center. So she shouldn't have been admitted to our program, but it wasn't a great program to begin with. And, you know, my eyes were open after this thing happened, but we admitted that girl anyway, and she ended up leaving that night. We call that an AMA, against medical advice, and she overdosed and she died. I didn't know her very long. I did her intake, but you know, she was a daughter, she was a sister, you know, she had friends, she had other family, and like that's like a person that was trying to get help, and some people just did the wrong thing, right? And it made me really mad, and I took that anger. I did what I knew how to do, and I'm like, let's go out and just talk to people about, you know, I want to share my story and I want them to share theirs, you know, like that's, people are so afraid to talk about what's going on with them. Especially men, like you were saying, that stigma that, you know, you gotta use your masculine and bury it deep down. Nobody wants to see a man crying. Nobody wants to see a man, you know, fall down, right? You gotta be carrying all the weight and carry the team. And I'm so glad that people are starting to discover like that men are, you know, we can get into our femininity, if you want to even call it that, by expressing what we're going through in our emotions and being in tune with your emotions, you know? A lot of men actually turn all their emotions into anger. Right. And I know that, I'm sure you've been a very angry guy yourself.
Hey,
you know?
dude, the last book I just read was about anger management and how to deal with it, and how to not let all the negative things trigger you and bother you to the point where you get angry, because honestly, everything is about having a reaction to things, and it's all about how you intake it, how you cope with those things that trigger you, and you just gotta have to learn to like be water.
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
and anger isn't a bad emotion. That's like that's still a healthy emotion to have. It's what you do with that anger and that energy that comes with it, like how you utilize that. You know, you have to discover how to do that in a healthier way, and how to turn that anger into more determination for changing the way that you feel or changing the things around you that are making you angry. Anyway, I went out on tour. I did what I knew what to do. I went on the Warped Tour. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Rest in peace. Hopefully it comes back one day.
Yeah, Warped Tour was sick.
Saved my life, that tour. You know, I went out and I knew a couple of the bands that were on tour, and they were gracious enough to allow me to come on stage and share a little bit about my story and my struggles with mental health, and how I had started this project called Finding a Lost Voice. That project was really to get other people to share any kind of adversity that they've gone through, whether it's situational or clinical mental health. And part of my day was spent talking to thousands of people at that tour, and then the other part of my day was spent going and finding resources like universities with psychology programs, hospitals that treat mental health, private and state-funded programs for substance abuse and all sorts of mental health all around the United States. That's really where I built the foundation for Finding a Lost Voice, and the initial thought was to just be a mental health advocate and educator and talk about the different things and team up with psychologists, and that's what we ended up doing, and through a few grants, we got some money, and we were going to do this school program, and COVID happened. School program, not happening anymore. I started seeing a need in a different way, where musicians, especially people in the music industry, they were hit very hard during COVID. Their entire livelihoods were gone. They're used to touring 9-10 months out of the year. Most of them don't even have homes to go back to. A lot of them don't have friends other than the friends that they have on the road and in these buses and these vans or whatever they're touring in. And all of that came to a screeching halt with COVID. And these people had no resources. They had no money. They had no health insurance. They're living life on the road, right? And now that road is taken away from them. And a lot of people were very lost. And a lot of people were turning to me, now being this voice for people, especially in the music industry, for mental health. And so I took some of that money and I pivoted, and I was like, let's figure out a way to pay for people's talk therapy sessions. And I reached out to some companies, one that Tyler won't mention and I won't either, that do this on a big scale. And they weren't really willing to help as much and understand that, like, money isn't endless, right? Money isn't endless, but the need for these services is, I'm trying to help as many people as I possibly can. So I've been able to help a significant amount of people with talk therapy services, through a few companies that do telemedicine nationwide. And most of them take insurance, most of them have low cost pay. But for people that really just don't have insurance or any means to be able to take care of this right now, we want to help you get into some kind of treatment, some kind of therapy, get you matched up with somebody that really fits your needs and the things that you're going through, and start talking about it to a professional. I like to also comment on this because a lot of people like to say, well, I tried therapy, it doesn't really work for me. And I love that, because my analogy behind that is, well, would you go out on a date with a girl and it didn't work out? She wasn't for you, right? So then you just decide to give up on dating and you're just going to be alone for the rest of your life? I don't think so, right? You're going to get back on a dating app or go back out there and try to find another girl that might be your match, right? It's very similar to therapy. The first one might not be for you. The second one, third one might not be for you, but you will find somebody that you feel comfortable talking to. And it's important that you continue to try, especially with professionals. So right now, we're looking for your guys' help. We need to raise a significant amount of money so that we can help as many people as possible with therapy services. So we're gonna have some cool things that we're gonna be putting together, like a GoFundMe page. We already have different donation links, but I think it's important for you guys to get excited with us as the donations grow, and we're going to be offering some cool merch packages and things like that for people that donate over $100, maybe an exclusive t-shirt and some sticker packs and things like that. Tyler's going to hand draw that, right?
Yeah, no, I am. Yep. 100%. And we'll have everything linked down below in the description. So if you're seeking advice or help or anything like that, you can go to Find a Lost Voice's website, which will, all the information will be right below this video. You can go on the website, you can fill out the form and try to get some help. Jordan's gonna help with that, whether it's find you a therapist, pay for it, whatever, help you out with your insurance, whatever the case is. The GoFundMe link for Finding a Lost Voice is also going to be down below, and like we said before, any significant donation over $100, we're going to be putting together a nice little merch package, t-shirts, stickers, etc. to send to you guys as a token of our appreciation for really helping out with Finding a Lost Voice. All this is about is trying to just spread awareness and just get more people help, because it sucks. I mean, especially the people that are getting help and they can't afford it anymore. Like you said, you know, once the help is gone, you get really down to the dumps, and you know, a lot of people just don't want to live anymore, and that's the really shitty part of it.
Yeah, and I agree. And you know, like I was expressing, we've kind of come to an end of how much money we've had as an organization, and you know, there is a certain amount of people that I've been helping with these services, and like I'm doing everything I possibly can. You know, I've also got a family and a roof to keep over my family's head too, so putting all of my own finances into this, and so that's why we're really coming and asking for help with the donations, because like I said, the money isn't endless, but we also know that the needs for services aren't endless. And I promise you, as we grow as an organization, you know, and are able to get to a significant amount of donations coming in, and hopefully we get a steady flow of it, there's going to be different things that we can do. It's not just pointing you in the direction of a therapist, but like, you know, helping you with case management services to help you get insurance, so then you could get your own therapist and not have somebody pay for it, or, you know, get any kind of health care in general. And there's a lot that we can really do with this, and you know, that's what I'm passionate about, is making sure that people find resources, they find their voice, and they're able to use it and get the things that they need for themselves. So
yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. We just wanted to get together, make a video, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Actually, did I make a private video about it? I might have made a members only video about it recently too. Maybe not. I've mentioned it in videos, guys. You guys know, like, there's a lot of things going on all the time. Life happens super fast. Like, the fact that I got a 14-month-old beautiful baby inside is mind-blowing to me. Happened extremely fast. And yeah, man, but that really put the pressure on me, man, because I want to be the best version of me possible for my girl and for my kid. You know what I mean? Like,
and for yourself.
And for myself, exactly. And that's honestly, it's not selfish to put yourself first sometimes, because
that's what they say on the airplane. You put your oxygen mask on first, and then you help other people. You're only as good to other people as you are to
yourself. Exactly. And if you're not happy with where you're at in life, and you're not happy with yourself, and you don't love yourself, how are you supposed to love someone else? If you're not taking care of yourself, how are you supposed to take care of somebody else? You know? Like, it's actually a really big problem in America that not a whole lot of people want to talk about, because it's an uncomfortable subject. So we're talking about it, because I don't really care anymore. And people need help.
That's right.
And I've needed help. I still need help. I am still, to this day, Tyler Nolan is still seeking therapy. I'm still getting help. I'm still struggling. And that is okay. Same thing with you guys. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be embarrassed about it. It is totally fine. You are a freaking human, dude. Everybody, we're all humans. We all have emotions. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all get sad. We all get happy. That's life. Life hits you sometimes. And you gotta just learn how to roll with the punches. So that's what this is all about. Hopefully, you know, we're gonna try to raise as much money as possible with the GoFundMe. Link is down below. Finding a Lost Voice website is down below. Go fill out a form. Let's try to get you guys some help. Let's make it freaking happen. Any donation over $100, like we promised before, we're going to put merch packages together. We're going to send them out to everybody that's helping, because we greatly appreciate it. And I know a lot of you guys that are going to be looking for help and getting help are going to appreciate it as well. And that's what is most important. Finding a Lost Voice. So that is it, guys. I appreciate you listening to us babble on. I know some of you probably don't really care about this, but we care. okay? And it's very important. Your mental wellness is very important to me. It's very important to Jordan. It's very important to Brandon. It was very important to Brian. It's very important to a lot of people. And that is a lot of the reasons. I mean, yeah, there's YouTubers out there that just make stupid videos messing with people and just acting like idiots. And yeah, sure, maybe they're not really trying to help anybody. But I do animal stuff, okay? And I take care of things. And you guys I get emails all the time about you guys are struggling with work, job, relationships, whatever you guys are struggling with. I get emails, I'm not even kidding, several times a week. People just thanking me for putting out videos because just my videos, even though they're not even about mental health, they help people just get away from their world. You get to watch me play with the animals and take care of them and do this, that, and the other thing. You forget about your problems for a little bit, and that helps. It's a distraction. And, you know, sometimes that's all it really freaking takes is just getting some help and finding something to keep your mind off of. Trying to find something to get your mind out of that darkness and into something better.
Please share this video with as many people as you possibly can. Anybody that you might know that is struggling, or anybody that has struggled before and also found help and could understand, you know, coming out on the other side. You know, we definitely want people to see this and understand what our mission is. You know, also understand that I'm going to do my best to help every single person that is going to reach out. But again, I can only do as much as I can with the amount of money that I'm able to raise for this. And so hopefully together, if we could share this as much as possible, get this spread out everywhere across the world, and people can, you know, see what my mission is, what our vision is for helping you guys, and we can get it to a place where we can help as many people as possible. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to listen to what we have to say.
Greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll get back to the animal stuff on the next video, I promise you. But yeah, that's it. Love you. Appreciate you. God bless. And you're not alone. Like, don't feel like you're a burden to anybody. Don't feel like nobody cares, you know. There's always somebody out there that'll listen. There's always somebody out there that hopefully you can get help from and come up from wherever you're at, you know. So, Jordan, love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Hopefully we can help some people out.
That's it.
So,
Thank
until
you,
next
guys.
time, guys. Appreciate you. See you on the next one.